Hey man, how you doing? Hope everything's good with all the stuff that's going on, huh? Hey, listen, man. I want to spend a little time doing some diminished stuff. All right, diminished stuff. So, what is diminished? Most of the time, when you have a diminished chord, okay, which is like if I'm to do a B diminished chord, it's it's B D E. Should be B D F A flat, right? So basically, it's stacked minor thirds, right? Minor third, flat five, diminished seven. Minor third, minor third, minor third, minor third, minor third. So stacked minor thirds. That's like a real kind of a Bach thing, right? So it's not only does it sound good, it's kind of fun to play. I think you're gonna find it fun to play. It's like it's this whole and it's like it's minor third city. You know what I mean? Right? I didn't think I would be able to do that, but that happened. So it's like I want you to have fun with this. The chord itself is the minor thirds. I mean, stacked minor thirds. Like I just did it all the way from like low B, right? So it's like on your bass you can go higher, boo ba. You can go up to the. You should be going up to the F there, right? You can go to the F there. You got the F. I got the D. Fun stuff, right? So I want you to have fun with that, right? So check it out. So that's the chord itself. So if we have a B diminished, we've got a one, we've got a flat three, we've got a diminished seven. That's in the chord I'm playing. Right? But the chord is, it has that fifth. And what I encourage you to do is to really get down that minor third relationship on your bass. You know what I mean? It's like, it's what? Step and a half, right? So it's like, even go down. Right? So, there you have it. You have a diminished chord. Now, what type of scale do you play over a diminished chord? Diminished chord is a very interesting situation. It's a symmetrical diminished, what we call it, meaning it's still those straight stacked minor thirds, right? But now what's going to happen is it's actually an octatonic scale, so it's an 8-note scale, right? So the way you really build a scale is we call it a whole half, whole step, half step, right? So we got root, whole step, then minor third, whole step, flat 5, whole step, diminished 7, whole step, which is not major 7 really, it's just a tension. So you got do it again. B whole step, D whole step, F whole step, A flat whole step, B. If you keep on going, coming down, it's like half whole, right? It's like half whole. So you got half, and there's the chord tone. Ba da da ba da ba da ba da do da da ba 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 da ba ba da ba ba da da ba ba da da ba 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 da. The way I do it is I tend to go up ascending. There's a couple ways you can do it. I don't think I do it the same way exactly every time, but one way to do it is to actually just kind of keep the same hand pattern that you're doing. So it's like, all you do is you move up a, so it's like this, check it out. And all I'm doing is what? You know, I know with you I don't have to actually, there's a lot of people that I have that they're all in the hand patterns. You're not so much like that. You're not stuck in that. But to use that as maybe an easy way to play it, you can just do the same thing. Like I'm going finger 1, 3, 4, 1, right? Whole step, whole step, whole step, and then move up to the half step with my first finger, and then so it's the same thing, right? And so what's happening really is, that's why we don't call, like I'm not calling it a 9, I'm not calling it a 13, I'm not calling it a major 7. Basically what we do instead is we call them all tensions. So it ends up being chord tone, tension, chord tone, tension, chord tone, tension, chord tone, tension, chord tone. Coming down, chord tone, tension, chord tone, tension, chord tone, tension, chord tone, tension, chord tone. So now what you got is you still have the straight up. You still have the chord like that, but now you have the scale, which is right. Right. Now I noticed that might be an easy way for somebody to remember it, like what I said, move your hand up. But like I said, with you, I'm not so stuck with, you're not like, oh, I gotta have the pattern right. You know, you're more like with the notes and stuff. But anyways, so I noticed. I don't always do that. You know, it's like I might go. One, tension. Flat 3, tension. Flat 5, tension. What is that? That's the diminished 7. Tension to the root. If you work this, it's really fun to kind of have that in your pocket because diminished chords come up, not all the time. Excuse me. Not all the time, but in a lot of tunes, they come up. And most of the time, what they are, most of the time, is they're passing chords from one chord to the next. You know, you have passing tones, right? Like, if I was going to do a passing tone from playing the B flat, my passing tone might be, right? Or whole step above, whole step below. Or maybe, right? But here, it's actually a whole chord that's passing from one chord to the next. Good example I like is My Romance, right? My Romance starts off with a B flat major, C minor, D minor, then D flat diminished or C sharp diminished, going back to the 2, 5 to the 1. So you got 1, 2, 3, flat 3 diminished, 2. So it passed from the 3 to the flat, it passed from the 3 to the 2, right? You can go even farther. It's a nice resolution. We'll get into a little bit more why it sounds like a good resolution. Another place it comes up is like Donna Lee, right? You have towards the end, it goes it's going to the end where you do the 2-5 into the 6, so it's 2-5 to the 6, right? And it goes to the dominant, then back to the 6, to the dominant. So here you go, 6, and then 2. There's the diminished, B diminished. Now where is it going? Now a lot of times when I play this tune, I don't necessarily do the 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. Instead, I actually do the 2 from the B flat straight to the B flat. So instead of 3, 6, 2, 5, 1 in the key of A flat, it ends up being I go straight to the B flat for a whole bar, and then E flat for a whole bar, and then to the C, to the A flat major. But sometimes it goes 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, or it might just simply go 2, 5, 1. Now here's the thing: the B diminished for me sounds a lot stronger to actually instead of but it can go both ways. It's a passing chord, right? So in this case, we're going to the, like I said, the 2, 5 to the 6 to the 5, right? of the 6, then back to the 6, C, and then F, B, and then you can either go again, passing chord. I like it actually going to the D, to the B flat, where you're going to right. So you get these passing chords. Another place you get the diminished chord, where it's not necessarily a passing chord in a way, but in the blues, like if you have an F blues, right? We've got you know, to the 4, to the 1, 2, 5, into the 4, then sharp 4 diminished, then to 1 with 5 in the bass, 3. So now it's going F dominant to B flat dominant, back to F dominant, to C minor 7 flat 5, F 7 flat 9, B flat dominant, B diminished. Then it's nice to go to the C note, which is F with C in the bass, right? So instead of going 4, that doesn't sound so great, man, my opinion, but it sounds good when it goes to the 5 in the bass, you know, when you're doing a walking line, you know. Okay, again, passing chord or not there, you're still getting the F dominant, B flat dominant, and then B diminished, and then that's a first and second inversion of the F. Again with 5 in the bass. So again, it's passing, right? So now you've got a different couple different places that you can kind of see where it happens at. Another place it happens at is in softly. I'm thinking of the bridge. The bridge goes to E flat major, right? Then C dominant of the F, then F minor, F sharp diminished, and then to the G. Now that's the way I usually play it, because I like the chromatic motion, right? You're going from F minor to F sharp diminished to G, instead of going F minor, F sharp diminished, and then to D minor 7 flat 5. It seems like a bit of a jump to me, you know. So going from F to F sharp to G, forget about that D and go straight to the 5. Anyways, again, what I'm showing is a lot of different passing chords. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on in the diminished shape here. You know, first thing that's kind of interesting is that if you take that B diminished and you start it on the B flat, which is the tension of that B diminished, and you play now, it's like instead of whole half, you're starting half whole. It's the same scale. You're just starting on the B flat instead. So now we call it half whole. So you go up half step, whole step, 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 half step. So now what you have is you have a B dominant chord, a B flat dominant chord with a flat 9, a sharp 9, a 3, a sharp 4, a 5, a natural 13, a flat 7, and a 1. So now you've got a very interesting sound. You've got this diminished sound that has flat 9, sharp 9, but major 13, natural 13. So that's where you have this sound. Right? So all I'm doing there is I'm playing B flat dominant with the flat 9 in the bass. Now the thing about it is, where do you use that? You know, we'll get there in a second. So check it out. So now we've got a B flat dominant, but now, like I said, it was symmetrical, right? So now you got a B flat dominant. You also have a D flat dominant. You have an E dominant. You also have a G dominant there. So you've got B dominant. Go up a minor third. It's symmetrical. You got another dominant. Another dominant. So you got this. Basically what's happening is those notes that we're finding there, excuse me, those notes that we're using are simply from the chord scale itself. All right? So we're still using that whole half from the B and the half whole from the B flat, right? Same thing. But now if we go up in symmetrical shape, we've got B flat dominant, D flat dominant, E dominant, G dominant, back to B flat. So we got B flat, G, E, D flat, B. Right? That's good to know, because that means that you have a lot of different places sort of to hear a little bit of a different sound starting on a different root. So if you're, let's say we're resolving from B flat to E flat major, right? Well, you can easily, instead of going just to B flat, go to D flat instead. Go to do. It ends up being a flat 9, right? Same thing, we could use the E7 instead of B flat 7. Let's use an E7. So it's like, let's say it goes from the F minor and then to G dominant. So you got this F minor, G dominant going to E flat major. It's an interesting resolution. Okay, very interesting, right? But basically to practice it, you know, is to kind of understand that, okay, if it's B flat 7, I go up a minor third. I can also play D flat 7. I can go up a minor third and I can play E7 and then to G7. So now you've got the possibility of going E7 to E flat 7, but still as a not looking at it as a sub 5, like a tritone substitute, but looking at it more as it's just it's a altered, how do I say it? I don't want to really say reharm, but it's like a substitution chord, not a substitute or sub 5 or anything, but a substitution chord for the B flat. So you've got B flat, but actually you got E2. So that means you can do something, you know, like F minor, E7, E flat major, but it's going to be F minor, then E7. And there's your resolution. So here's the dominant chord, here's the E dominant chord. Then to the resolution. Right? Sorry. So that's a start, right? So you know, you've got the B diminished, you got D diminished, go up a minor third, you've got F diminished, and you've got A flat diminished. Maybe you call that G sharp. I mean, instead of A flat, call it G sharp. So now you've got, you know, these four diminished chords within this period, within this thing. So now you've got B diminished, A flat or G sharp diminished, F, D, B, right? And with the dominant chords, you're going to start a half step lower than the root, and you're going to go dominant, up a minor third, dominant, up a minor third, dominant, up a minor third, dominant, and you're back. So I'm going to cut this off because it's getting to 30 minutes. I think most of the time YouTube stops me at about 30 minutes. So I'm going to cut this off and then come right back. Okay, man?